What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. So as we all know, one of the biggest stories going into the offseason after the Bucks were eliminated in round 1, Dame tore his Achilles. What would Giannis do going into the offseason? And thus far, as I'm recording this, it seems like he more than likely might be staying in Milwaukee. So today we're going to have probably our toughest rebuild I've done in such a long time. The Milwaukee Bucks are in such a tough spot, obviously, in real life, and we're going to attempt to rebuild the Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo still on the roster with the little assets that they have or don't really have at all. Let's just go ahead and jump in and make this happen and see what we can do. This is going to be a tough one, but should be a fun one nonetheless. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. We're currently on the road to 50,000 subs. So you want to help us reach that goal, that would be amazing. So I believe tonight, I actually don't know if game 4 is tonight. I'm pretty sure it is as I'm recording this. It's on Friday. Yeah, okay. So sorry, I guess I didn't really need to look at that, but game 4 is tonight as I'm recording this, and you guys won't be seeing this until after game 4. Will the Thunder tie it up, or will the Pacers go up 3-1? Should be interesting. But let's talk about the Milwaukee Bucks, man, because as I said, this is going to be a very interesting watch this offseason, whether Giannis stays or goes. It sounds like I said as I'm recording this, that he is going to be staying though. So what are they going to do to try to make this roster better around Giannis? That is a great question, because this roster is just not up to par, basically. And they don't have a ton of assets to work with. So, yeah, it's not going to be easy, but we are going to find ways to try to make things happen. So, I have a couple of ideas in my mind. And we're going to see just what we can do. It's not going to be easy, but let's just get started. So, staff signing. Doc Rivers, I guess, hasn't been fired in real life, so I'm going to go ahead and leave him as the coach. I don't believe we have a draft pick at all, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe we do, and I'm just incorrect about that. No, we don't have a pick at all, so that's why I kind of figured. And now we just head straight to player options, because obviously no draft picks. Portis declines his, Kevin Porter declines his, and then Pat Connaughton accepts his player options. So thankfully, $9 million, I guess, is something we could potentially use to maybe go get something. So for free agency, of course, you're going to have Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, Gary Trent, all free agents. I do think I want to bring Gary Trent back and potentially Bobby Portis as well. With Brook Lopez, I think I'm going to more than likely let walk, but we'll see. So, what do we do is the question. What is going to be the move to make things happen? Because obviously Dame just tore his Achilles, so he's going to have pretty much no trade value. But there is an idea that I have with him that I guess I got to give a shout out to Blazers Uprise that they have pitched before. That sounds kind of interesting. I don't really know if the Bucks would be interested in him, but we'll talk about it in just a second. Kuzma, AJ Green, and then you got Giannis, and then we don't really have much of anything else. So yeah, this team is in a tough spot. Obviously, Kuzma's contract really doesn't have any value either, or he doesn't have any value in general, so we're just going to have to see. This one's going to be a tough rebuild today, but we're going to try to make things happen. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to try our best. So the first trade we're going to do is going to be sending Pat Connaughton and Chris Livingston over to the Phoenix Suns for Royce O'Neal. Royce O'Neal could be a solid starter for us going forward. Second round pick also being attached with it, which isn't too bad. So yeah, let's go ahead and make this trade happen. The Suns going to offer Royce O'Neal's contract. Obviously, we don't really know what the Suns will be doing in real life. All we know is they'll more than likely be trading Kevin Durant. So getting Royce O'Neal, I think, is a solid start to this rebuild. We can move him to small forward. He'd probably go up to a 78 overall. So I do think that's a decent little start to this. So here's the trade idea that I have, I guess, with Damian Lillard. So obviously it would suck if you're the Milwaukee Bucks to trade away Damian Lillard, but as you know, he won't be playing next year. He tore his Achilles, and who knows what he'll be like after that. If you're going to have Giannis, maybe Giannis is okay with waiting a year and the team just sucks and maybe whatever, that's the direction to go. But it doesn't make sense. I think they got to try to win now. So this trade is kind of polarizing. I could see kind of the flaws with it, obviously, but basically Dame tore his Achilles, so he's not going to be playing. Unfortunately, 2K doesn't let you trade injured players, which is kind of annoying because injured players get traded in real life. But basically, Damian Lillard can go rehab in Portland, I guess, and the Bucks get themselves a couple players that could contribute this year. So Rob Williams, who has a lot of injury concerns, and obviously Jeremy Grant, who's just on a horrible contract. But Damian Lillard, obviously, not being able to play for you. Maybe you're okay with getting Jeremy Grant, which you're hoping to recoup value out of Jeremy Grant, who was once a good rotational piece. On Denver, you know, Portland was pretty good when he first got there. Just not a great season for him. So yeah, this is kind of the idea behind it. I'm gonna see what they say, and they do agree. So Damian Lillard goes back to Portland, and we got to make sure he's injured again. But basically, we have acquired a couple guys that are gonna help us this year. Again, I could totally see if you guys think that trade was kind of dumb. Like, it's polarizing. Like I said, it's interesting. There's a lot of flaws with it, but guys, we're so limited on what we can really do that, I mean, what am I supposed to do? So that is the idea that I got to give a shout, like I said, the Blazers Uprise guys for that one. So now we have Jeremy Grant on the team. His contract does suck, but you're just hoping that he could be a solid player once again. So now you kind of have a couple or a few guys you just brought in. We got now Jeremy Grant, we got Royce O'Neal, and now we have obviously Robert Williams, who could be interesting this next year as well. We're just going to have to try to make it work, and then we're going to probably sign Bobby Portis back, Gary Trent back. So let's go do that, and then we'll try to, acquire. Maybe we can bring back Malcolm Brogdon as well, or even AJ Mitchell if he is like waived by the Thunder for some reason, or whatever. So he's also kind of an interesting idea, but yeah, we're just going to try to make some things work, man. That's all we can really do. So now we turn our attention to free agency, and I have a few guys. So two of our guys, obviously, we're bringing back with Gary Trent and Bobby Portis, and the other guy is technically being brought back to with Malcolm Brogdon, who once played in Milwaukee. I believe he was drafted here, wasn't he? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, or maybe, did he go under? No, he was drafted round 2. So we're going to try to bring in Gary Trent, Bobby Portis, and Malcolm Brogdon. If it lets me sign Brogdon, of course it doesn't. I had a bad feeling about that. So we may not be able to bring in Malcolm Brogdon, actually, which does suck. A little disappointing, but I'm not bringing back Brook Lopez, as I said. So now we have Bobby Portis back. We'll figure out the rotation in just a second. But honestly, I honestly truly believe Giannis is going to have to play the 5 next year. I don't really know what else we'd really do. We also don't have a point guard right now, which is kind of unfortunate. So we'll have to figure that out. But we'll try in due time to find a point guard for this team. So we're just going to go to day 12 and see if there's a point guard we can sign. Because like I said, we could technically maybe sign and trade Brook Lopez for a point guard if there was some team interested in him. That might be something to look into, because other point guard options, what do we have? We can sign Chris Paul. Maybe we can only offer $5 million. So let's see. If I don't have a Brook Lopez sign and trade lined up, Fred VanVleet's here, which, I don't know if he'd sign for $5 million, but that wouldn't be too bad to bring in, I guess, as a traditional point guard if the Rockets waived him. It would be interesting to see Fred VanVleet go from $40 million or whatever to $5 million. Ty Jerome is going to be too expensive out of our price range. You have like Trey Jones and Kevin Porter Jr. You could bring back. Malcolm Brogdon would probably still sign. Davion Mitchell is also interesting. Maybe he'd sign for $10 million or $5 million. Probably won't if I had to guess. Yeah, he says no. Okay. So I guess the next best bet is either go Fred VanVleet, which we can give him a 1-year deal. He might accept that. So Fred VanVleet would not be a bad idea to bring in Milwaukee. Would be definitely helpful to this team. We sign and trade Brook Lopez, though, is the question. I think we probably have to. What point guards, though, would we want to sign and trade for? We got to make sure wherever he's going, it makes sense as well. So we can't have anybody making like too much money. So like Anthony is kind of in that price range, but yeah. So I guess what we kind of need to find, which I'll look at this in just a second. So if I obviously get a point guard, I'll show you. If not, I'll just show you the rotation and what it's going to look like with Fred VanVleet here. But I'm going to try my best to see if we can sign and trade for a point guard. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to do our best. So unfortunately, I was not able to find any type of sign and trade involving Brook Lopez. So we just kind of stuck with what we had, or we stuck with just signing Fred VanVleet basically. So post-centric, interestingly enough, is our best system, which I don't think I've ever seen that before. So I guess I can run post-centric and see how that runs for us. But power rank has us pretty high. And again, we're playing Giannis at the 5 because I just don't really know any other option we have. We're kind of limited on what we can do. It would suck to have Giannis play as the 5, going forward. But for now, it's just going to be the way it is. So we have Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., Jeremy Grant, Bobby Portis, Giannis, Robert Williams, Kyle Kuzma, Royce O'Neal, and AJ Green. Is it the best rotation? No, not by any means. But it's serviceable. It's passable. We need definitely some more help. We don't have a second star necessarily, but we do have some guys that I think this is a better roster than what they had last year. So Giannis' shots in the season 99, rightfully so. So I want to see if there's any other shots in the season I can fix. So let's see. So Giannis is high, Bobby Portis is somewhat high, and then Grant's, I guess, is pretty high. Kuzma's, I don't need to be very high at all. That's probably going to hurt us more than help us. So we're going to push this one down. And like I said, I guess we kind of need Jeremy Grant to try to be as good as he possibly can be. So we'll have him be like the second scorer because we don't really have another option. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Power rank 3rd seed. Will this team make the playoffs? I sure hope so. We're trying to make this work with Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that was kind of our best result we feel like we could get. And even then, that's probably what I was able to accomplish was maybe even somewhat unrealistic. But with how challenging it was, I did my best. So I hope you guys enjoyed the first off season, and we'll see how the season goes with what we put together. So at the end of year number 1, Anthony Edwards is your MVP. Igor is your Rookie of the Year. James Harden is your 6th man, Mo Defensive Player. Bazelis Most Improved. And Paulo is your Clutch Player. And Chris Finch, Coach of the Year. And Nathan Mack is your Executive. So here's your All-NBA first team, All-NBA second team, and All-NBA third team. All-Defensive first team, we got Giannis making it All-Defensive second team. So did Giannis not make it All-NBA team, or just wasn't? Or no, he did. I was about to say. I would have been shocked. Why did he not score at 30 points per game? I know he was playing the 5, so I do like to move Giannis out of that position if I can. But like I said, we don't really have a choice this year. So here were your player stats. You had 22 from Giannis, 16 from Jeremy Grant, 15 from Gary Trent Jr. Was Grant efficient while he did it? I mean, it was all right. Nothing too crazy, but 37, 38. So again, the one thing we do have going for us is that Kyle Kuzma's contract and Bobby Portis' contract will both be expiring this offseason. We don't have a ton of assets by any means to attach next to them, but we have things we can, expiring contracts are going to be valuable, which is why we kind of like the idea of maybe flipping both of these guys for something else. We'll see, though, kind of how these playoffs go first and foremost. We get the Chicago Bulls around 1. So let's go to a 9-man rotation, 50 bench utilization. Royce O'Neal is cold for whatever reason right now. But let's see if we can beat the Chicago Bulls. So Chicago, of course, has Jerome, Kobe White, Odosumo. So they lost Josh Giddey, so we'll see how this goes. Game 1 goes to them. Game 2 goes to them. Honestly, if we're losing to Chicago in round 1, we're probably in trouble, but we were down 3-0. But yeah, the game plan and the goal is to get Giannis out of the 5 this year. I think that would be the most ideal thing we could do. Get him back at the 4, and we should be good. And we are going to win game 5, so we're not dead yet. We win game 6, we have a game 7 coming. So let's see how this goes. They want to start AJ Green over Gary Trent, which that's fine. Let's see. I also extended AJ Green, by the way. But man, are we about to do what I think we're about to do to the Chicago Bulls? It sucked that we went down 3-0 to them, but we tied the series. So we are going to hopefully have a chance to get into round 2. So let's see if we can finish this 3-0 comeback on the Bulls, or is it just going to fall short? We have the lead right now. Can we hang on to it? I mean, I feel like we should beat the Chicago Bulls, and we are going to lose 98-104. That is obviously very disappointing. But there's more work to be done. So we got into the playoffs, lost in 7 to Chicago, which is just not a team you'd probably want to lose to if you're the Bucks. Mavericks, Knicks. Mavericks went on to win it all. Okay, so a lot more work to be done, but it was I don't even know if I can really say solid start. Now, the one thing we have going for us is, never mind. I was about to say, if the Pelicans in the lottery, we should get a lottery pick from them, but they weren't. So we actually are going to end up with, they get 11, or we get 17. So we get a first round pick this offseason, which is very helpful in another trade that we can make. So Doc Rivers, I'm going to go ahead and, I think this would be the offseason to fire him. So we're going to get a new head coach in here to hopefully that helps us too. So we are going to go for Joe Mazzulla. Don't know if he'll sign with us, but it's definitely worth a shot to go for him. And then Doug Christie, we can go for Jason Kidd as well, who used to coach in Milwaukee. So bringing him back would be kind of interesting. What else is there? There's Mark Daignault we could try to go for as well. Might as well do that. And none of them are going to sign. So none of them want to come coach Giannis. Are we kidding? Are you kidding me? Okay. Daughtery might be our best. Well, let's see what else we have. So we have Doc Rivers still here, which funny enough, that might be our best option. Or do we have Kemba Walker? Kemba Walker, who would get blocked probably. I mean, I'll offer, but probably going to be blocked. Kind of annoying. Although, you know what? Screw you. You're not blocking that. You're going to give me Kemba Walker. I do not care. Staff signing. We're going to... Oh, I guess I gotta maybe... That's not... Oh, I guess... I don't know. So let's... Can I get Kemba Walker? That's who I want. Kemba Walker, they reject. Charlotte Hornets have to respond. Okay. Oh, they have to... Okay, I don't know what's going on right now. Okay. I'm so lost. What am I doing? Okay, you know what? Screw you. I don't want Kimba then. Let's just get a different coach. There actually is a couple other guys that are available still. So Will Hardy or Billy Donovan. I guess Will Hardy would be the better offer. So we're going to grab Will Hardy to be the new coach of the Bucks. Kim Walker would have been cool too, but the Hornets wanted nothing to do with leaving, which is fine. So the 17th pick, and then as I mentioned, we have Horst is expiring, Kuzma's expiring, so we should be able to hopefully do something. We also have Ajax, who might have some value out there. I don't really know how much he would have, but it could be some value nonetheless. So we are going to try to make a trade for either a point guard or a center to get Giannis out of that center spot, get him back to the power forward. So we'll see what is available out there for us to make happen. What are the odds the Brooklyn Nets would sell us off Cameron Thomas and Nicholas Claxton in the same trade? More than likely would never happen, but we're going to do our best to try to convince them that, hey, we can make something happen here. So the Brooklyn Nets have two, deals on Claxton and Cam Thomas. Obviously, Cam Thomas would be really nice to have. Is he a point guard? Not really, but he is a damn good scorer, and we could use a damn good scorer next to Giannis Antetokounmpo. So Claxton and Cam Thomas is a target. We have Portis and Kuzma as expiring. We have our 17th pick. We also have Ajax, who's just an incredible, immaculate asset for the Nets to say, thank you. Yes, we'll absolutely do this trade. Of course, I'm BSing right now, but I'm trying to make something happen here. So I'm going to give them this Blazers pick as well. And I guess, whatever else we can offer, because if we're getting Cam Thomas and Claxton, we probably should be giving up a lot. So I'm going to just give up as much as I can. A little unrealistic, yes, but will they accept it? They do. We get Cam Thomas and Claxton in the same trade. So we take care of both positions that we needed, which is beautiful. So Giannis can move back to the power forward, which is what I wanted. And now you could have, obviously, also Cam Thomas, which, again, it's not ideal, but I'm going to move him to point guard. So he's going to be playing point guard for us. And what we have in Cam Thomas is a good scorer, and we just got to be happy with it. So, we're working with little that we have. We just gave up the last few things that we had to give up for Claxton and Cam Thomas. So yeah, I'm feeling okay about it. So let's go to player options now, and let's see what's looking like here. So nothing going on here, and then Pete Nance, nothing. And then for free agency, we have Robert Williams, who we don't really have a choice. We need to bring him back, so I'm going to give him a 4-year deal, $13 million a year, hopefully. Nope, he says no to that. What about 4 years, 14.5? What do you say? So we're going to also get Robert Williams back, which is beautiful. And we'll sign whoever we can on the last day of free agency, potentially as well. Okay, so we have Cam Thomas, Gary Trent, AJ Green, Jeremy Grant, Russ O'Neal, Giannis, and then Claxton and Robert Williams. So this is looking okay. We needed another scorer. And, while Cam Thomas is not a second star, he is a star in 2K. He really is, man. If you guys seen how special the Nets are, partly because of how good Cam Thomas is. Why we made that trade happen. So, Aaron Wiggins. You want to sign a 2-year deal to come to Milwaukee to back up Giannis? I'm cool with that. So that is going to be another beautiful addition. So boom. We got Cam Thomas, Claxton, Jeremy Grant. We got AJ Green, Tyler Smith, who I forgot about, is slowly developing as well, which is going to be very helpful down the line. So this is beautiful. Giannis is back at his natural position. Him and Cam Thomas could be the guys in the second season. I'm expecting much better things than last year. We went to 7 with the Bulls last year, but this time we have a guy that can help Giannis, take some pressure off of him, and Cameron Thomas. So this should be an interesting team for sure. That's the least I could say about it. But we'll look at the rotation together to kind of see what it's really looking like. All right, so the one thing we won't be doing this year is running a post-centric system. That kind of felt disgusting to do anyway. So we're going to be running balanced, I guess, because that is Will Hardy's preferred system. So we'll leave it like that. So we have Cameron Thomas, Gary Trent, Jeremy Grant, Giannis, Nicholas Claxton, Robert Williams, Russ O'Neal, Aaron Wiggins, and AJ Green. I mean, it looks pretty solid. I can't be too mad at this. Obviously, Cam Thomas and Giannis are going to be scoring like crazy. Shot tendencies, Giannis is still high, and so is Cameron's Thomas's. Grant's shot tendency can come down now. We don't really need him to hijack the offense too much anymore. It was great to have you kind of be a piece, but we need this to be the the Giannis and Cam Thomas show. So Power Rank has a 6th overall. They're pretty high on us. New coach, new center, new point guard, even though, again, it's not, Cam Thomas point guard. I'm not really sure how I feel about that, but still, I'll see you guys at the end of this season. Off to a little bit of a slow start, but hopefully we get a win streak going. We'll be a top seed in the Eastern Conference. Victor Wembanyama wins MVP. H. Debanza Rookie of the Year. McCain's your 6-man Wemby Defensive Player. Lee McNeely Most Improved. And Steph's your Clutch Player. And Kidd is your Coach of the Year. Here's your All-NBA first team. We do get Giannis back on here. Kind of more of his traditional ways. I don't know. I've noticed the last two. Maybe it wasn't in. I don't know. It felt like, for whatever reason, I don't remember what video it was. It feels like Giannis takes a dip in scoring in this first season, no matter what I do. I don't know why it's like that, but it seems to be that way. All of its first team, he does make it here too. In all rookie first team and all rookie second team. Rookies, never heard of them for this team. Indiana Pacers 3rd seed. So obviously the Bucks have had their history with the Pacers. Cam Thomas averaging 26 next to Giannis, which is what we needed. 14 from Jeremy Grant, who will also be an expiring contract this offseason. So probably gonna be able to use that at our disposal too, and hopefully get something good. So that's nice. So, and then Giannis has to be re-signed too, so we'll see what that looks like. But we get the Pacers in round 1. Let's see how this is going to go. Does the Cam Thomas magic work for us? That is the question, because every time we play the Nets, it seems to work for them. So let's see if it works here. Game 1 goes to the Pacers. Game 2, we even it up. So we do take one on their home floor, which is great. Game 3 goes to us. Game 4, I didn't mean to select current round. We go up 3-1. Are we going to beat the Pacers in 5? Nope. In 6? Yes, we're on to the second round. Let's freaking go. The Cam Thomas magic is working. Okay, we got Orlando and New York, or one of them. So we'll see who it ends up being. It's going to be the Magic. Okay, so Orlando Magic, Milwaukee versus Orlando. They got Anthony Black, so they didn't really change anything about their team, basically. Will they trade for someone in real life this offseason remains to be seen. I think they will. It just kind of, depends on who it will be. So game 1 goes to us, 148 to 125, 38 from Cam Thomas. He's a magician, man. What's he averaging in the playoffs right now? Let's see. He's averaging 27. Love it. Game 2, they even it up. Game 3, they're up 2-1. Game 4, they're up 3-1. Damn, the Magic is slowly drifting away. Well, I guess the Magic are slowly drifting away from us, so that could have been a pun, kind of. But let's see if we can get back in this series. We can win this one. We'll still be alive. Oh, we barely hung on there. So 34 and 24. Now for game 6. They want to swap Rosanil and Grant, which I'm fine with. We can do that. So let's go see what this looks like. We got a chance to force this to a game 7, just like we did in Chicago last year. Looking good right now. Just hang on to this lead, and we will go to a game 7, so we're not dead. Cam Thomas, man, doing his thing. Game 7 on the road. They want to, you know what? I'm going to leave Royce O'Neal in. Let's just leave him in, and let's see how it goes. So game 7 in Orlando. They come out fiery hot. Do we get back in the game, though? I don't think we will. Maybe. Nah, it's probably dead. Oh, yeah. Oh, Bro, we got really close to coming back there, but unfortunately did not. So Orlando, and the Mavericks beat the Hawks in 7. So I think the next move, as I said, is to trade Jeremy Grant for whatever we can get. So whatever pops up, we take it and run, because we just need to use his contract for depth or whatever it may be. It just kind of depends what pops up, obviously. So player options, I don't think we had a pick. No, we had Giannis, of course. Jeremy Grant, of course, accepts that. And Tyler Smith could be a rotational piece for us this year, which is cool too. And then for free agency, we just need to bring Giannis back, and I think that's about it. So obviously he has an offer in the Clippers. We got to come in hot on Giannis Antetokounmpo. We're going to give him as much money as he wants to try to bring him back. He will re-sign. So Giannis is going to come back. Will he sign a new contract with the Bucks when that time is coming? I don't know. No, in 2K we're making it happen. Okay, Grant, it is time to see what I can get for your services, because if we can get something for you, we could be in a good position going forward. But man, is this team about to be dead, because look at everybody on a 1-year deal. So we need to make sure this third season coming up that we have a chance at getting to that NBA Finals. So we're not trading Jeremy Grant just yet, because all the offers that are popping up I just don't like. So we're signing Brandon Williams and Jonathan Isaac, and then we're going to get out of free agency, and we'll see if any other offers pop up for Jeremy Grant where everyone is signed and everyone's under contract. Because again, the offers popping up I'm just not messing with right now. So let's go see what would pop up now if we try to trade him, because we're getting some, like, Ayo Dosunmu and Patrick Williams definitely isn't terrible. I don't hate it. Cam Johnson, Norman Powell. We got Lauri Markkanen, which this trade was popping up quite a bit. We get Isaiah Stewart as well, which is kind of fun. Markkanen, I mean, it's kind of the same overall, so I don't really know if that does anything for us. Aaron Gordon, Boucher, which I guess is fun. We trade a first. Amanda quickly. I mean, it gives us traditional point guard, and we have, we get a first-round pick out of it too. So maybe this is the best trade we could possibly do. We need to get Kareem Lopez, which is a young prospect, but I don't know why the Wizards would want to do that. So, I think I gotta like the Manu quickly trade. I think that's probably our best bet. Weirdly enough, we get a first-round pick out of it as well, so it's another asset we could potentially use. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that trade. So where we get Manu quickly on this team with Cam Thomas, and now that small forward position becomes kind of weird, but we have a couple guys that I think we can mess with. So like Manu quickly, not Manu quickly. Aaron Wiggins can move over there. And then you also have like Tyler Smith, who can move to power forward. So we just slide things down, and we'll still try to maybe make a trade the deadline using that first round pick we just got. Now, I actually have no idea why the Raptors would do that. Maybe they just want off Manu Quickly's contract a year sooner because they're planning something big. I don't know. Again, this video was always going to be a challenge. So is it the most realistic? Absolutely not. I will be the first to admit that. But we're trying our best to stay as much as possible. Yes, but let's go see what this next season is going to look like, and I'll show you the trade deadline if we make a trade. So I am at the trade deadline, and I'm thinking a little weird here, man. It is kind of weird to want Derek White right now, but we know how good Derek White is, and he'd be a really good connective piece in this team to try to go for that ring. We know what he does for Boston, so I'm trying to bring that magic here as well. There is this one too, but we don't really need Mitch Robinson, and I'm trying to think of the Knicks why they'd want to trade for him in quickly back when they didn't seem to ever want to pay him. So I'm gonna do this trade. We have to trade 2 first-rounders. We get Donnie Freeman out of it as well, with Derek White coming over to this team. So Derek White obviously is the grand prize. I have to feel pretty good about that. So Derek White is our piece who's gonna be better than Minute quickly. So now I have Cam Thomas and Derek White as your starting backcourt, with Russ Neal, Giannis, and Claxton, Robert Williams, Aaron Wiggins, Gary Trent, and AJ Green. So is there anything else that I want to do? I doubt there's anything else we really can do, to be honest with you. Unless if there's like a Cam Thomas trade that pops up that we like. But I don't really foresee that happening. So we can throw Tyler Smith and Cam Thomas in here and see if there's something we like a little bit better. But again, really, I mean, we could go Tyler Hero, but pretty similar, I would say. And what Anthony Black, who's I don't know, like, I guess he'd be interesting, but kind of takes the second scorer dynamic away from Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas was coming off the bench all year, which is why his scoring is down. So I think we just got to keep it the way it is. So we bring in Derek White to hopefully help things out, and we'll see how that goes. I was ideally looking for a small forward, but nothing really ever popped up. I still like Aaron Wiggins as a starter too. It's just, going to Russ O'Neal right now, who's, okay too. So we're 1 game over 500 right now as the 9th seed. Hopefully Derek White comes in and helps us, but we'll see how it goes. The Jokic wins MVP, representing in a Warriors jersey. Mikael Brown, Rookie of the Year in New Orleans. Will Riley, 6th man in Atlanta. Wemby, Defensive Player. Thomas is your Most Improved. And Paul is your Coach Player. And Kidd is your Coach of the Year. And Hobson is your Executive. So here's your NBA first team. Giannis still makes it, which is great. 28 and 11, which is what you want from Giannis, obviously. All NBA third team. All of its first team still making it there. And then all defensive second team. All rookie teams didn't really matter for us. But we are the 5th seed in the East, and we get to play the Brooklyn Nets. So here are your player stats. You had 28 from Giannis, 23 from Cam Thomas. So once you got a starting spot back, definitely got, back to where he once was for us. So Brooklyn in round 1. This should be interesting. I really don't know what to expect, but we're going to try our best to obviously win the series. I'm also going to go 8-man rotation. Let's just go 8 deep and call it good there, and let's see what this turns into. So Brooklyn, you got, Igor, Fox, Richardson, Thomas, Sandro, Quentin Grimes, PJ Washington, Jimmy Butler. I mean, it's an interesting team. Game 1 goes to us, though. Beat them by 7. Fox with 33, 43 from Cam Thomas. Game 2 goes to them. Game 3 goes to them. So we aren't in trouble if we don't win this Game 4. Because if we get on 3-1 to the Nets, then what can we really do going forward? Because if we can't beat this Nets team, then we're probably not going to beat anybody. Thankfully, we do tied up 86 to 103. We need to win Game 5 on the road in Brooklyn, so let's see if we could do just that. We want to get out of round 1, obviously. We just got to round 2 last year. It was a nice step in the right direction, and we are barely going to steal Game 5. That was so lucky. So who did... So Thomas. Cam Thomas, I think, hit it with no time remaining. Wow, shouts Cam Thomas. We needed that. So now for Game 6 in Milwaukee, we really should close them out here. We just broke their hearts, so let's just break them even more. We blew them out in the first quarter. Second was closer, but we still won it. I think it's safe to say we broke them in Game 5 because we beat them in 6. We're on to the second round. Now, unfortunately for us, we get to play the first seed Atlanta Hawks, so really don't know how this is about to go, but we're back where we were last year. So we got Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, Risha Shea, Jalen Johnson, Okongwu, and Will Riley off the bench, a Fleming, and Jacoby Walter. Yeah, this team ain't gonna be easy, so we're just gonna have to see how this is about to go. Let's even simcast Game 1 because I just kind of want to gauge the temperature of how the series may go. So we win the first quarter, we win the second barely, but it's been a close game. Who wins the close game, though, is the question. We will. So we won Game 1. Good start. 43 and 34 from Giannis and Cam Thomas. Do we win Game 2? No, they even it up. So let's go simcast and try to win another one here at home. We don't want to let them win 2 on our home floor, but they're going to win this one, it looks like. So we didn't even come to play this game, which sucks. But that was disappointing. So if we don't win this one, we're in trouble. If we go down 3-1 to this Atlanta team, I don't really know how we're going to come back from that. Now, thankfully, we have the lead so far, as long as we don't blow it. Well, they're getting closer, but we will hang on. Okay. So Game 4 goes to us. Beautiful. Derek White was massive in that one. We got a tied series just like last series. So can we win on the road in game 5? We won game 1, so let's see if we can win on the road in game 5. Close game, and we will win game 5. That's big time. Okay, love that. Also, I need to turn on autosave, so that way if we jump in the game won't crash on me and I can come back. So let's see if we can win game 6. Can we win 2 game 6s in a row to close series is out? And this is going to be close, but they're going to take it and force a game 7. Damn, okay. Game 7 in Atlanta. This one's going to be tough. We need a close game at least. We got Chicago and Cleveland in game 7 as well. We had a game 7 over here, game 6 over there. So these series are going deep right now. Game 7, lock in Giannis, lock in Cam Thomas. We need to win this one on the road. Don't get blown out is all I'm asking. So they are going to... Okay, so we get back in the game, but they're going to lead it, man. So we're going to lose in round 2. Oh, that is unfortunate. Very disappointing. I really don't know really much more we can really do. So this might be the ceiling of the team. I'm going to give this at least one more chance, though. So the Cavaliers beat the Jazz in 5. And here are your retirements. So Kyle Anderson's going to retire. Again, I really don't know where we're going to go from here with this team, though, to be honest with you. So we're just going to see what it leads to. So staff signing, we got Will Hardy still as the coach. Round 2 has been kind of our ceiling so far. We lose in 7. And then we lost to Orlando, I think, in like 5 earlier. So let's go to player options, though, and see what we can do. So we got nothing going on here. And I think, like, literally everybody on our roster is about to be free agent, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the one. So, yeah, AJ Green, Tyler Smith, Royce O'Neal, Gary Trent, Claxton. Is Derek White? Did he retire on us? Because if he did, we're even... No, I forgot. Why did... No, it wasn't... Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. So I thought Derek White was on a 1-year deal, but maybe I'm tripping. Okay. Well... I think the only thing we can really do is just try to bring everybody back, if I'm being completely honest with you. So, don't really think there's a better option than that. So, we're going to sign everybody back, because if we lose anybody, we're in trouble. Wiggins, we won't be able to bring back, I don't think. So, that's going to hurt us a little bit, too. Unless, if we can... I don't think it... Yeah, it's not going to let us. Okay, so... Brandon Williams, Cam Thomas, Gary Trent, and Derek White, AJ Green. And then we lost Aaron Wiggins. So, it would be ideal if we can upgrade the starting small forward spot, obviously. But... I don't really know if we're going to be able to do that. So let's go to day 12. But I think no matter what, this next season's our last one. It's going to be our last chance at it. Round 2 has been the ceiling. Let's see if we can get over that maybe potentially in the next year. But small forward. Let's see. Is there anybody remotely interesting out here? I mean, we got like Kevin Huerter, but can we just bring Aaron Wiggins back? If he's still here? Maybe he got paid already. Yeah, I think he got paid somewhere else. So... we can try to get like Ochai Agbaji, I guess, on the team. No, he won't accept that. Okay, what about PJ Washington? Maybe, I guess, might be okay. All right, that'll be or whatever. But yeah, Derek White, Rob Williams regressing. So yeah, the team is getting a little worse. So yeah, we kind of expected that to happen. Maybe have one last trade up our sleeve at the deadline. If not, I'll see you guys at the end of the season. So no trade happened at the deadline, and we got the Brooklyn Nets in round 1 again. So here were your stats. You had 29 from Cam Thomas, 29 from Giannis, 11 from Gary Trent, 11 from Derek White. But like I said, no matter what happens here, this is the result. This is the end. So we're going to go 8-man rotation again here, and we're going to hope we can take down the Nets again. We were able to beat them last year, but they've probably gotten better while we've probably gotten worse, obviously, because older teams, they tend to get worse while the young teams continue to get really good in 2K. So... we're going to click the Grand All Simulate Current Round and see the result. And we will be up 32 on them just like we were last year. So let's go ahead and simcast Game 6 at home in Milwaukee and try to avoid a Game 7 at all costs. It looks like we might be able to get to round 2 if we hang on to this lead. But they are right behind us and we will hang on. 110 and 125. All right, round 2. Here we are again. We got Charlotte. This time around, we have not played them just yet. So we're going to see how this one's about to go. Game 1. Goes to Charlotte. Game 2 goes to them. Game 3 goes to us. Can we tie it up? Nope, we're down 3-1. We're in trouble. And the ceiling of this team with Giannis may only be round 2 for this video, unless we come back from 3-1. But we're in trouble in this game alone here, and we will lose. Yeah, so round 2. It was the ceiling of this team. I tried my best with the limited assets that we had. Even then, it probably wasn't the most realistic video at all, by the way. Now, it could have been even more unrealistic, obviously. I could have abused 2K's Trade Finder, and I kind of did in a way, but it could have been worse. Regardless, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see y'all in the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying...
Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.